Welcome back to the channel. Something a little different today. I've got a pile of wood in the back. I borrowed a log splitter. I've been motivated to get up early and get some of this wood split up. I'd like to do some basic Walmart style camping here and there with a little tent and a wood stove that I have. So in order to do something like that, you got to get organized. As you can see over here, I've gathered the necessary equipment to do so. I've got the log splitter that I borrowed from a friend, and the motivation here is this really cool little camping stove that I bought off eBay, maybe like, I don't know, COVID era, when everybody was buying crazy stuff and just trying to find something to keep themselves busy. As you can see, when I ordered this, I wasn't sure if it was actually going to come or not because it was totally random eBay Russian website. I've used it a few times. I'm going to set this up, kind of show you how this works. It's only really camped a few times in my backyard with it. So we'll see where this vlog goes. Here, once you pull it out of the bag here, it's this is kind of how it sits. It's got legs that go underneath. Everything's stored right inside here. So you've got the stove pipe that sits inside of there. So here are some of the legs. Legs go on the bottom. They just kind of stab right into these holes here. And there you have it. The legs on it. That's what it looks like there. Have that out like so. Stove top. Stove pipe fits in like so. And then that would head out to the opening of the top of your tent. This is the, sorry about the wind out here today. This is the piece that will fit on top of the tent. The pipe goes through. You can see some of the charred areas. This is a heat resistant mat. And then you put your wood in there, put your cover on, like so. What I really like about one of the features of this stove is this air damper system. It's so easy to use. You don't have to put your hands on it much. It just take it off, see how your fire's doing. You can stoke it with a stick without having to take the cover off. Russian eBay website, super shady, but it actually showed up after about a month after ordering it. It was couldn't tell you what name it is. There's a lot of Russian literature in the bag. If you wanted to try to read that, it came with some gloves. Came with some gloves here, and there's that. So I'm going to cut up some wood in pieces that will work for this stove. So I went ahead and pulled out these two containers. I try to keep the camping gear in here. You know, I've got tarps, a couple lights, some binoculars, fire starter, some emergency type waterproof containers, cooking gear, you know, all the basic stuff you can, you know, in no way am I a woodsman, or do I claim to be, but I've got enough here that if I wanted to do a little glamping, I could do it. Okay, this is what we're working with. I've got the first log on there. Now these, I call them logs. They're really just big branches that I cut down. They have only been sitting for about a month or two. So we'll see how the log splitter does with something a little greener. We'll see how this works. We're all plugged in here. Press the button here, but you got to make sure that this trigger is down. That lets them know. So it's kind of a two-handed process. Kind of green. Very satisfying. kind of the size I'm looking for. It's gonna be a two-part process. I've got my old chop saw over here to get the length, and I'll make a stack here, and then I'll chop them. Ideally, you'd wait a little while before you try to bust up some of this, wood, but it's, it's doable. I've utilized the recycling bin as a wheelbarrow because my wheelbarrow has been busted for a while. Okay, so I've got I've got double duty going here. Got the splitter, chop saw from here to here, or to there first, whichever, and to there. All right, so here's what I've got so far. So I was able to bust up 2 of these bins full. Second one down there. So as much as I actually use that stove, this should suffice for now. But because I got to return this, I'm going to go ahead and at least split up this to where it's manageable in the event I do decide to burn some wood in the backyard or just use the tools while I still have them. May have met its match here. Pretty big log.